call the meeting to order at 6:31 with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do roll call. Tom Ahern, absent. Ken Dunbar, present. Barb Garber,
Here.
Ken Riley.
Nope.
John Terrace, absent. John Locke.
Here.
Steve Weaver. Here. Kurt Martyr.
Here.
Bart Dunsmore. Absent. Is there a motion to excuse the absences?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right. Approval of meeting, adoption or amendment of agenda. The meeting minutes from the public hearing on June 6th I've not yet typed up. I'll take those up and they'll be readily available tomorrow for anyone that wants to get them at City Hall, but I say we approve them at the next.
You'll be within the guidelines of what the minutes have to be in, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you email?
Okay.
those be
Agenda.
emailed
Back to the
to us?
agenda.
Because I wasn't here and I'm totally not sure what happened.
You want to read about it.
I think so.
No, you do,
I
definitely.
know I do.
A lot of stuff went on, so.
I know I do. Okay.
Back up. We're looking at the agenda. Is there anybody that needs to add anything? I don't.
I wanted to see if Mr. Wilson could speak now. He has to give us some information so we can get him up here and get him out of here. And so,
Do we want to add them somewhere on the agenda?
yeah, if we could add him, we're not going to approve it. We don't have minutes to approve, right?
Correct.
So if we could just add him right now, all over.
I'd also like the preliminary review for the Memphis Meadows condominium project added to the agenda. We can ignore 50B of our bylaws for this single.
Well, can we finish this one first? And
I just figured all one motion if we can do that.
so, Mr. Wilson, you just had some information you wanted to bring
Yes.
out.
And I just got it all put together
Do we
today.
need to make a motion for that before we do
You
it?
know,
We're
where we
adding
want
it to the
place
agenda, right? So we need
Between C and D, or we do between D and E?
he's
Either one's fine.
as D. So can we get a motion to amend the agenda?
I motion to amend the agenda to allow speak from two different, you said we wanted to do,
I also would like to add the Memphis Meadows project
Yes,
preliminary review.
that's what I want to motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Councilman Lee.
Stand up there at the podium.
Yes, please.
Okay. I was saying that in one spot you on my knees. So okay, I think you all got a copy of that, and I just, because I need some information from the attorney, so I only got that today. So reluctantly, I didn't have it in time, so you could look at it ahead of time. But there's two, again, memos from our attorney on various subjects. And the cover letter, I just wrote the cover letter, and then you can refer to the attorneys if you like. And so, number one, any revisions to the zoning ordinance must first go to the Memphis Planning Commission and must have a public hearing prior to the recommendation of the Memphis City Council. They can approve, conditionally approve, or disapprove recommendations. Therefore, there must be a public hearing on the revisions of the sign ordinance, section 150.006B, scheduled for the special meeting on Monday, July 24. Now, the reason that we scheduled it that, it has to go in the newspaper, and it has to be 15 days before we can have a meeting. The earliest we could have it would be July 3rd, which which is just prior to the holiday, July 4th. Therefore, Steve and I recommended that we go for Monday on the 8th. That's on the sign issue. And so I don't think we were going, the way we're going, we're not going to schedule it. But according to our attorney, anything in the zoning ordinance. Now, if you go to that first one in there, you go down to number 1. I don't know if I want to read that first sentence or not, where I was wrong, but I was wrong. The planning commission is not required to be involved with all ordinance amendments. Rather, it only plays a role with respect to revisions to the zoning ordinance. So, and then if you go down a little further there, which I underline, planning commission is required to conduct a public hearing prior to making its recommendation, whether it is a wholesale revision or simply an amendment. So, anything in the zoning, and we have to understand that the planning commission is involved, and any changes, revisions, or whatever, you have to hold a public hearing.
Okay, so this has been scheduled so that it can be printed and
Yes,
notifications sent out?
I didn't have time to go over this with anybody, so I wrote up what has to go in the paper, and it's on basically the condominium complex with the changes in the RM residential multiple.
Right.
Okay? So the B on there, of course, is refers to that project, and you will require another public hearing, and that's scheduled for the same date, because and basically it's because those issues, the changes were not addressed. So we kind of clear on that?
Right.
Okay, all right. There's about three more things on there. Some of them don't apply to the planning commission, but this is going to all the council members and all the planning commission members. And those are ones that I talked to the attorney a couple times over this, and as you know, I don't do emails, so I had Donna do some emails to get all this information. And one was the can we survey by phone or email when we have an emergency? And yes, we can. However, when you get the survey of all of the members through either email or to me, we call it on the phone. And then it's approved or whatever. But at the next council meeting, we then have to address it formally and vote on it. Now, sometimes I don't know if we actually went that way on some of these, but
Seems to me sometimes we have and sometimes we
yeah,
haven't.
so in the future, we have to do that on all of them. Okay. The other, let's see what else is in here. Can we make amendments to special meetings? We can make amendments to special meetings. If we have to, that we will amend the agenda. Okay, and I think I addressed all those issues, but on the signs, we definitely have to have a public hearing or not. I know we thought that was already done, but you're gonna have to have a public hearing. And when you schedule a public hearing, I put the signs first, because that's gonna be just not a big issue.
Okay.
And then the second, then I address the conflict. So, read those responses, because I specifically asked the attorney to put it in writing. So if I miss something, communications, then you can look at it. So, do we have any questions on this now, or are we kind of clear? Yeah.
The regularly scheduled planning commission meeting is July 11th. Why not just lump that in together?
Well, we thought because of the, Steve and I were talking, we thought because of the issues involved, you might want to do a special meeting. And I think it had to go to the paper today, so it's now scheduled.
I think it'd probably be best to keep it separated from the regular meeting, so that we can keep a focus on the issues that are at hand.
Now, I thought about what you said, Ken, but I think we should do that. My opinion. And besides, see, the thing is, we have to send it in on Wednesday today to get it into the next Wednesday. And then you gotta go 15 days, well, you could count that Wednesday probably, then you gotta go 15 days. First, we couldn't even schedule it now to have it then anyway, because we don't have enough days. Yeah, so.
I thought you said the earliest day was July 3rd.
July 3rd, but I mean, if I want to change it, I guess I should say, if I change it, you'd have to delay it, then you couldn't even have it, that meeting, you'd have to have it the following, whatever, I'd have to count the days. But, so that's why we're scheduling it that way, and because of the nature of the thing. So, anything else?
So we'll be able to address both of those, Mr. Wilson, on the 8th.
Pardon?
We will be able to address both of those issues.
On the 8th, yeah.
The sign, language on the sign ordinance, and
Yeah.
also the several issues that are
Yeah,
involved with the condo
you'll
ordinance.
schedule one meeting with the public hearing closed, and then when you make your motions, whatever, to council, and then you go to the.
And we'll forward those to the council from that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And it'll be good that
Make
this
a motion.
information will be posted. I mean, the last meeting, we got a bunch of information, when we showed up here, so. This way, the information, and as far as the zoning changes that we want, or looking at, the ordinance changes, will, be posted for the public to look at and have any questions on that.
Can I go now?
Thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thanks, Larry. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Larry.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next up, we have citizen comments regarding agenda/non-agenda items.
Mr. Dunbar, can I make a point of reference here? Is during this point, anybody that wishes to get up and speak should identify themselves, and they're allowed 3 minutes to speak. We can't turn this into a roundtable discussion or a city hall meeting.
I can track minutes if you'd like.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I mean, we don't have to be right down to the minute.
No, but I mean, if we,
Absolutely.
I know last time was a little bit more of a round table, and we found out that isn't the way we're supposed to do it, so we'll try to be a little more proper today, so.
Proper's good.
Yeah. so-
Does anyone wish to speak?
Sure would. So let me start with my name being Tina Manzik. And when I was here last time, I felt very disrespected, especially when I left and then heard the meeting afterwards that we were having a feelings meeting. This is not feelings. This is our city. We pay taxes just like all of you. Let me start there. I don't think the man that leads our city should make comments like that on a video that went out to the entire public on YouTube. That's all I have to say, Mr. Mayor. All construction must comply with the Michigan Building Code. That is the 2015 code that also goes along with the International Building Code. I understand that we in Memphis are only currently following the 2000 code. So if that's not true, I apologize, but if it is, we're 24 years behind. I know that -9 is 15, just so you know. I have attempted to call Mel McNutt regarding the things that went on and we talked about. I want you to know that I finally spoke to him today, and when I addressed all of these things with him, he goes, "You sound like an attorney, I'm not gonna get sued, goodbye." And his wife was like, "Hang up, it's an attorney." I'm not an attorney, I'm a concerned citizen. The Michigan Building Code 3304.1 says that excavation and fill, the soil must be safe, and it must be specifically sloped and covered. Let me explain to you why, if you don't know. When I spoke to The Voice today, the paper, they said that you should really pay attention because a child in their community died 2 years ago because of this. I take this very serious. I've been an ER nurse for 32 years. It is horrible to receive a dead kid or a kid that's not breathing and you're trying to breathe life back into them. That place over on Bell River is unsafe. 3306.5 states 8-foot barriers and 8-foot barricades and danger signs with directional barricades for pedestrians should be placed. 3307.1 is the protection of our neighbor's property. I'm not gonna stand up in here and complain, but we did have a couple that said they could not enjoy their own backyard. That's wrong. I can sleep through anything, but I don't also have water draining into my front yard. 3308.1 is the storage of equipment, Michigan Building Code. It says that things must be safe. The garbage is overflowing. I'm sure, Steve, you know that, down there right by your house. The garbage is overflowing outside of that wooden box. The tubs in the garage are dangerous. There's no barricades. A kid could walk up there, touch it, and it would fall over, and there it would kill them. The grass has not been cut on the east or west side of Bell River, except in between their house and my house, because my husband cuts it. But we're not doing it anymore. I'm not. I'm done.
I agree with that. You shouldn't have to.
I don't think I should have to. The environmental law, the Michigan law, states that there are non-nuisance laws and public nuisance laws. And I know you're probably thinking, what kind of nuisance? It's called an attractive nuisance. You can look it up. It's in the law. An attractive nuisance is a pool, a construction site, any type of large machinery, because somebody's going to try to go over there and play and get hurt. It is called an attractive nuisance law. No different than your laws about having locks or gates or whatever around pools. It should be the same thing around construction equipment. It is the Michigan law. Just so you know, that falling within that as a government entity, be aware that you can have some contributory negligence. And as a city, I don't think we can afford that. If someone gets hurt there, does the city of Memphis, it could be bounced between comparative and contributory negligence. It's been on 2 videos now. If someone gets hurt, I'm never gonna shut up. I want you to know that.
Not to stop you, but we're at 4.5 minutes.
I know, sorry,
You wanna-
I'm almost
no,
done.
No, you're good.
I
just
think
wanted-
I'm making some very valid points.
You are. I just wanted to let
Okay.
you know where we were at, because I was gonna try to.
Across the street, on the east side of Bell River, there are 2x4s or 2x6s out in the middle of I shouldn't say the middle, the side of the road. Trench excavations, I've contacted the fire department. They cannot do trench excavations. If a child or anyone falls in that trench, they will die. They cannot enter it until everyone, and in Macomb County, I've called around, I know a lot of firemen, they have let me know that different people from different teams will have to come here. They're not allowed to enter, they're not trained. Even to save a child, they can't. And you cannot reach down and grab somebody out of there if they get hurt. Memphis's own code, 152.2, if you're digging a pit, a pond, or a hole, anything more than 5 feet deep must have a 4-foot fence. What's the difference between a basement and a pit to swim in? It says anything that's the depth is more than 5 feet, you have to have a 4-foot fence around it. And then anyone not following the NBC or IBC is considered to be allowing the unfinished, unsafe work. I tried to call my OSHA. They won't, I'm not employed there, and I don't have a city email address. So I can't report it. So I already talked about that. The city should cease and desist his building and all of his work until he installs a fence. And then if he doesn't, you put it up and you charge him and you put an abatement against his property. Because that's what you would do to me if I didn't cut my grass and you came and cut my grass. It's all I have to say. I'm just totally insulted. Why are we gonna give somebody 6 variances that doesn't care about our community? He doesn't live here, he doesn't give a damn. And I'm sorry for saying that, but it's the truth. Why am I gonna give? It's like having a kid having a fit. The mayor at the last meeting said, well, he'll just back out. Well, that's like me telling you, if you're not gonna play my way, I'm gonna take my ball and go home. It's ridiculous. I pay taxes. I moved here 7 years ago, and we need to welcome these new people and say, thank you for coming here. Thank you for supporting our city.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tina.
And by the way, and if any of you agree with me, here's a complaint form. I encourage you to fill it out. Drive by, look at the unsafe conditions sitting on the city where there's a 2-year-old that lives next door. Here, Mayor, you're the main man.
Please, moving forward, please refrain from any personal comments.
I'm sorry, you're right.
About,
Let me apologize for being rude, but I just want you to know it was very rude what you said last time, and I needed to address it. Thank you. I apologize, Kim.
I
Thank
understand
you.
the frustration. We're all people here, we're all members of the community, and we should try and be respectful of each other, so please refrain from personal comments. Who would like to go next? Anyone?
Sure. Why not?
Jim Fields, 80263 Bell River Road, Memphis, Michigan. I viewed the YouTube video. I do variance planning commission meetings all over the state in the sign industry and construction industry. I found the presentation and how things have proceeded the last 2 meetings of the variance process laughable compared to what I see across the state. I'm embarrassed for Memphis on how these are allowed to proceed, okay? I was at Novi the other night. I've been at South. It's kind of embarrassing the way that it's a circus. That's why I'm here. I'm here because I see it, I'm out, I experience it, I do this thing, it's part of my job. Come on guys, you guys can do better. This community's a nice community. I like the town. Taxes are high, but you know what? It's a nice town. It's not bad. We've got personal issues going on, so does everybody else. Nice town though, okay? New neighbors, new houses, nice. Construction site's a joke. If that was my construction site and I had my $250,000 equipment sitting on there with my crews, I would have $25,000 in OSHA fines a day. They would probably shut my business down. Tina's making a good point, it's not safe. I've sat there in my yard and I've watched people stop on the road, get out of their vehicles with their families and enter open houses with open basements and view them on the weekend. That's not safe. There's no reason and no liability or insurance carrier that would still cover a company that allows that to happen off hours. It's a huge liability. She's also right that you're allowing it to go on there, it's under there, and if you're not enforcing your own code, you're culpable for it. That's a legal liability. I think Mr. Wilson kind of explained that too. So again, you let things go on, it's not a bad idea to go down and drive down the street and actually take a look at what goes on there. Who stops, who can access these places? There's filled dirt, there's construction equipment stacked up on the street. Again, that's a violation, code violation in your own code. If you're not enforcing your own code, you're liable. It's just things you should pay attention to, guys. That's all. I see it all over the place. I work all over the place in the state. Some of the craziest, we do high-rise stuff, we do it all. So I mean, really, you guys are better than what's going on right now. You know, that's why I'm here. Support
We're
the
better.
neighbors, support the
We're a
town.
community.
It's just, it's crazy. The open basements, crazy. Water, construction equipment, crazy. The guys working on the weekends at different hours and stuff like that, no safety gear, crazy, crazy. You're liable for what they're doing on your property, in your town, if it violates the ordinances and the building codes, believe it or not. So, that's all I got, guys.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you for your observation.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you, Jim.
Does anyone else wish to speak?
Yeah.
Bill Lagasa, 80367 Bell River. Watched the YouTube videos of the last council meeting, and everybody's upset of one truck parking in the road. Certain select few people on the board saying I'm parking in the middle of the road. I've had the cops coming by, basically harassing me, you know, I think three times now they've been by. We can't do anything but scoot off the road. I scoot off the road when I can, but I'm not gonna ruin my grass. When it rains, I park all 4 tires on the road. And I just can't believe with what's going on across the street, we're gonna make a big deal about our side of the road and parking on the road. you have these builders throughout the whole day, multiple trucks on the road, and my truck's there from 5:30, probably 6 o'clock, till 5 in the morning. Less traffic, it's never there when school's out, unless I have the day off. I just find it crazy. So, that's all I got.
Thanks, Bill. Moving on, communications. Do we need to accept what Mr. Wilson distributed to us as communications?
Yeah, I think we should put it on file.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept Mr. Wilson's memos?
I'll make
as-
that motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Do we need a motion to approve the attorney's response?
Well, that's part of the communications.
I was lumping all those in as one. We can make a separate motion if you'd like to.
I thought you just did the one that Larry wrote today. I didn't know we did this one. Okay. If it's a package, then that's fine.
Be three pages in total?
Mm-hmm.
4 pages?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. New business will handle the preliminary review of the Memphis Meadows projects there. Our preliminary review stage is supposed to take 60 days. This is approaching day 90, and I think we owe it to the builder to rule on come to some sort of consensus. I don't believe with the current state of the project and our ordinances, we could approve it, and I think we have to deny it at this point and tell them to resubmit a plan that conforms with our code of ordinances. I did take the liberty of typing up a letter that's a little more official than that. It would read, Statewide Management LLC. The City of Memphis Planning Commission has reviewed your submitted site plan for the Memphis Meadows condominium project and finds it to be in non-compliance with the city's code of ordinances. Please submit a site plan that complies with our code of ordinances. Additionally, you may seek variances for, including but not limited to, the following items. I, front setbacks, 150.059A requires a 25-foot setback. II, side setbacks, 150.059B5A increases the minimum side setbacks based on the overall length of the building. III, rear setbacks, 150.059A requires a rear setback of 30 feet. IV, building height, 150.059A sets a maximum building height of 25 feet. V, overall building length, 150.059B5A limits overall building length to 125 feet. And VI, any and all other instances of non-compliance. Alternatively, City Council is considering updating our code of ordinances, and you may wait to see the outcome of said changes, if any at all, as they may affect the zoning regulations of this property as well as all others in the residential multiple district. This is just to cover our butt. I don't want to take 120 days in the preliminary review phase and then be like, hey, it says it's going to take 60, and I think that's a very...
Yeah, because we're in the process of reviewing and amending our
Yep.
ordinances anyways. I think it sounds good. I don't know if anybody else does.
I have copies if people prefer to read that, just because that is a lot. But I think that's a very safe way forward.
Are those our current setbacks inside?
Correct.
Okay, I wasn't sure, thank you.
Obviously, we'd have to wait for Tom to be able to sign in. But I could leave a copy at City Hall.
want to send a copy of that to the construction firm?
If we're in agreement, and we can, I think there should be a motion made about, because this is effectively denying their site plan in its current form.
And you do address the fact that we may change it,
We may change it,
but
but as
currently they don't meet.
currently they don't meet, which I think we can all agree on.
I wasn't at the meeting last week for the public hearing on the site plan development.
It was never discussed.
What happened there?
It was never discussed.
There was nothing discussed?
We kind of went off the rail on
That's why we're having another public hearing on July 9th.
that.
8th. Sorry. Sorry. Thank you.
8,
Seems like
9,
we're meeting
10,
every week
whatever.
lately.
Yeah, twice that week.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that we forward the letter to Statewide Management LLC with regards to where we stand on the plan development and everything involved in this, and waiting on a review from City Council.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Can I ask a question of the board on that topic?
No.
Just, is that no? Okay.
That's not-
It's
Sorry.
been brought up, it's been voted on, sorry.
That's not what I was gonna ask about, but I'll take your word. I'm not familiar with this out of Memphis.
Sorry about that, just had to jot that down. Next up, review master plan. Do we have any updates since our last discussion on the Section 8 implementation? I believe that was all we were contemplating discussing at this meeting.
I will be meeting with somebody tomorrow to get that turned into a PDF and
Okay.
update it, so I'll have a meeting tomorrow with the person that might be able to help get that off the ground,
Okay.
construct that part of it.
Does anyone have anything else that they would like to address currently on the master plan? All right, review chapter 93, animals of the code of ordinance. Do we were waiting on Tom for that one? He was typing up the chicken ordinance, is that right? Or no, that was you, Ken.
No, I won't type anything in.
Tom?
It was Tom?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either. I know
I
we
don't-
talked about it, and yeah, we came up with I don't know if we had an actual.
Needed more information.
Use, yeah.
Okay, so we're still waiting on
I
it.
think there was
So
some
you did have a
discussion we had to have on that.
Okay,
Didn't
all right.
I know I came here for that meeting and nobody was here. It was at 4 o'clock on a Friday,
All right.
but that's all right.
So this was all about somebody rewriting something to allow chickens in the city of Memphis?
Yes, there was talk about it having to do with the amount of property that you own.
Yeah, there's gonna be some kind of how many acres you have or less than an acre, no roosters, all this other stuff, yeah.
Alright, well, we can hold off on that. H3, discuss sign ordinance 150.006 of the Memphis Code of Ordinance.
I thought we did that.
We definitely made a recommendation
To city council?
to city council. There was discussion of possibly adding more to that, and that was the only reason it was left on the
Gotcha.
agenda. Specifically regarding the temporary signs.
Temporary flags,
Temporary
the
flags.
flags that are in the right of way, I think is what it boiled down
I
to.
think that on that, we ended up with no action, did we not?
Correct.
Yes, we did.
So we decided to not do anything.
Okay.
Alright. Well, then, comments from commissioners?
questions?
Alright, if there's no,
No, I guess I don't have any comments at this time. I'm gonna kind of really read over what the attorney said to kind of figure out some of these things. And I know, Steve, you had mentioned that you were gonna meet with the builder. I didn't know if you had, it hasn't been that much time, so I didn't probably haven't had a chance to meet with him yet.
With who?
The builder in regards to the working 6 days instead of 7 and cleaning up the stuff. Okay, that was it. That was all I had to mention, if we had a chance to do that.
Tina, right after that meeting we had last week, all the concerns that I heard, I boiled down to 8 bullet points. I typed up those points and I sent them to the construction manager of the Memphis Meadows project. It's Mark Skiba. And he told me that he would, so he received them. And I made him aware of all the issues that we discussed. And he said that he would be barriering off, which turned out to be taping. Never saw the, right, well, after listening to Jim, I understand that's not adequate according to code. I don't know.
Sorry, listen to me, I did all the homework.
Yeah,
I don't mean to be
I'm
rude, but.
just being transparent.
I know.
Let
I'm
him
very
know that I
transparent.
acted on that, and I understand listening to some more in depth that you presented tonight, that really it's not adequate.
So, and I've lived where I lived for 7 years, or almost 7 years. And the kids walk through that field to go to school, and they come through that field to go home. And it's even gonna become more popular as, the kids are seeing the construction. So I just wanna bring up some things. Not only I've done sexual assault nurse examiners, you're gonna have all those houses back there, if they're not quarantined off and the police are not going back there and having good roads to be able to check them, somebody's little girl's gonna get grabbed. We just had a predator arrested here. Not that it doesn't happen in every city. I'm not here to bash Memphis. If I wanted to move, I'd move. I moved here for a reason. I like Memphis, okay? So I'm very happy here, but I have some major concerns. I don't know if any of you have daughters or even little boys. You don't want them pulled and raped into a house, and that could happen anywhere. But we're gonna have to have police presence back there, all those buildings. He told you people are going in and out of those buildings. They're so unsafe. I didn't go in there. I just snapped pictures with my phone of the trench. And you're Mr. Pratt, correct? You can confirm with him about their trench rescue team. I spoke with Clinton Township Fire Chief. He said that they come from all over. Is it MRSA or what, something like that?
Yeah.
For that they wouldn't be even allowed to enter the trench. You'd want to, but imagine, you want to put your fire chief through that? Watching a kid lay down there and drown?
Well,
I'm
I
just
would
being
think I'd be
honest.
prosecuted for that if it was me sitting there on the end of the trench, just a personal opinion, but I understand,
But I'm gonna tell you,
laws,
but here,
we're
but
supposed to
if you
follow
don't,
all that, but
but you can ask the builder if you don't understand trenches. It might be very unsafe for you to go in there because trenches collapse when people get in them.
There's rules
Yeah.
on the way trenches are supposed to be constructed and how they're supposed to be left, and trench boxes are supposed to be set up, or it has to be sloped in a certain
Right,
way
I
that
know.
it can be accessed. Yes, all of that stuff, I totally agree with you.
Right.
And I haven't been over there to see what it is.
I invite you to go and fill out it's dangerous. I spoke with Jason Sofa, he's like, I'm glad you told me because I have a little boy. Like, I already told him to stay away from there, it's not safe, but I sent him the pictures. Like, you guys, go look, it's not safe. There's a 2-year-old with a pregnant mom next door, and listen, every one of us has had our kid get away from us. Look, if you say you didn't, then you're a perfect parent, I don't believe it, but.
let me just finish my comments by
Yeah.
saying, Tina, again, I will follow up with him with another text tonight and let him know that there are some serious concerns concerning the construction sites and adhering to the law as it is written, and that they need to be addressed. That's, I'm not an expert in building, I'm trying to just be a communication avenue. That's supposedly my job here with.
I'm not mad at you.
I know,
Yeah.
I'm just again, being transparent. I live right down the street.
I
too.
know.
I got a grandson.
That's right.
That's like the rest of you in this community for over 20 years. I want what's best for our community, I want us to preserve it going forward with all the idiocy that's going on in our country. I'd like to feel like I got a square mile that I come home to and feel fairly secure, fairly at ease. enjoy my yard, dig in my garden, all those good things. So I will pass this piece on, and sometimes it's a slow process. You know, you gotta build up a little bit of heat sometimes on people who aren't maybe even aware that they've been used to just doing things the way they do it, and nobody is really holding to account, so.
I think
I would,
that's going
I would
around
like
a
to
lot.
think this is gonna be a bit of a silver lining out of this issue that we're dealing with right now. And it's a good time to get it under control before, when and if this other phase 2 of the project begins, so.
Right.
I sincerely tell you, I will try to.
And that phase 2 is gonna be sitting right back there where kids are going to school, 50 feet from a school line. So it's got, I mean, it has to be safe everywhere, but the kids are gonna be, walking through the field, walking over to craft, I see them do it all the
And I
time,
did make mention to him specifically about cutting that field.
and it hasn't been done.
Well,
Do something.
all I can do
But here's the thing.
is point it out to him. I don't have a tractor or a bush hog to go back
I
there. I'm just
understand,
letting you
but-
know that I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm doing the best that I
And
can
listen,
where I'm
I'm
sitting
not
on
the
this
guy. I'm
side
sure
of the
he's
table to
busy, but-
make it happen.
But, yeah, he's gotta cut the grass.
Yeah,
The
that's what
kids
I
have a
told him.
baseball diamond back there to play, why can't the kid, we can't have that.
Yeah, I agree. We're working on it. Maybe not as quickly as we'd like to see it happen, but we are working on it.
Any other
But if you
comments?
sent him a bill and had the same comment, maybe he might.
All right, well, in place of no other comments, I motion that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor? Meeting adjourns itself at 7:12.